Hey, thanks everybody for joining us today. In the 20 years that I've been doing this, I've come to realize that most people really don't have any idea what it takes to get a loan done. They think you just fill out an application and there's a lot of pain involved, a lot of paperwork, but they really don't understand the mechanics. And this includes realtors and financial planners and estate planners for that matter. A lot of loan officers out there, I know you guys can feel the pain. I know that you're juggling a lot of this all on your shoulders. And this is why I found having a really great team is important, because that team can give you that constant communication and consistent workflow. So today, I am so happy to tell you that I have three of the most important people in my life joining me today. And we're going to kind of tell you about why having a great team makes a big difference. With that said, let's get started. All right. Well, I'm happy to introduce you to the Brady Bunch. Say hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
So, guys, if you haven't figured this out, this is our team. This is the Cravoy team that's joining us here today. And I'm going to be introducing all of them here in a minute. And each one of them are going to go over kind of what their role is in the team, why it's important, and some of the things that they do that you probably have no idea about. But I wanted to start by just talking a little bit about my experience. So, I got started in this business about 20 years ago and was an individual loan officer for the bulk of my career. What most people don't realize is that as a loan officer is kind of it's a very generic term. There's a lot of hats that a loan officer has to wear and a lot of different duties that really have not much to do with each other. A loan officer not only has to try and get business, so we're constantly trying to talk to referral partners. A loan officer is talking to families and to individuals that want to buy a home, and they're, you know, trying to educate them about the process. A loan officer is then trying to help the client fill out the application. Then they're collecting documentation. Then they're preparing the file to send it into processing. Then the processor takes over, and there's a whole slew of activities that they take care of. And then we've got the underwriter, the entire ops department. At any given time, there's probably 15 people that will touch your file as you're going through the loan process. Now, what happens is that a loan officer is usually capped at doing so many or helping so many families at one given time. Because what happens is that we're answering the phone when one of our referral partners calls us. We're then calling, maybe they have a new family that we need to contact. Then we're doing the initial discovery call, the pre-purchase consultation with that client. In the meantime, the processor and underwriter is coming back to the loan officer and saying, hey, this loan that we're supposed to close in the next few days, we're not going to be able to close that on time unless we're able to get certain documentation from the client. Now, the loan officer then is dropping whatever that they have to do, and they're chasing down the client, trying to get the client to provide the documentation, or else we're not going to meet our timelines. Well, what's happening through all of this is that when you have a good loan officer can handle 3 to 5 loans a month pretty flawlessly and do it fairly consistently. But by the time you start getting up to where you're doing 8 to 10 loans a month, something winds up getting sacrificed. Maybe you're not able to answer the phone as quickly as you could before. Maybe you're not able to prospect, to go out there and talk to families or individuals that you've been in contact for the last couple of months. And therefore, the amount of new loans that you have are not going to be coming through the door in the next month or 2 months. So what you wind up having is this roller coaster of a year. 1 month you do really, really well, and then the next month, you don't do so well. Or maybe you're just consistent, but you're not doing a lot of business. At some point, there's a breaking point. And I realized this a long time ago. I used to manage a company back before the mortgage collapse. I was a sales manager at Novastar and Amstar. And at one time, I had 60 loan officers that worked for me. And I can tell you that I've seen a lot of people just fall off the cliff, but I've also seen the meaning of teamwork. And I understood what having a really good team meant, and then was so inspired by Neo and by Ryan Grant and the way that he structured his team that I decided, you know what, it's time to jump off, and I need to actually create a superstar team. And it started with the person that I'm going to introduce you to first. My son Shane, I got started back in, when dinosaurs roamed the earth when he was 15 years old. He would come in on his summer break and he would pick up the phone and set up appointments for me. And I just love him to death. I trust him more than I could imagine I would ever trust anybody to help me through this process. And I asked him to become my partner about 8 years ago. And I'm happy to tell you that we've become even closer. And he's been just such an incredible, not only team member for me, but also an advisor. I go to him for help. And Shane manages our team's pipeline. Shane is the one that, he's the quarterback, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to ask Shane to just kind of introduce himself and talk to you guys about some of the things that he does and some of the observations that he's had about the market.
Thank you for that, Dad. Appreciate the kind, sweet intro. And I don't know what me starting the business when dinosaurs roamed the earth means for me in terms of my age, but it means I'm pretty much up there. So, yeah, to Barry's point, he brought me in at a really young age, kind of 15 years old. I wanted to go skateboard, but he instilled some pretty incredible, not just sales tactics and approach, but he instilled, a belief in wanting to help families and wanting to help families achieve, the American dream. So he brought me on, and over the course of, 3 to 4 years, we were able to sustain, to his point, a pretty decent living and help out, many families, but it's not scalable, right? You can really only help 3, 5, maybe 7 families if you're not, you have no personal time to yourself. So his idea in bringing me on had us thinking about how do we deliver the same level of excellence and the same experience and connect with referral partners and really connect with clients. And if we can't scale that, or if we were inundated with the process and having to collect documents, at the end of the day, something is going to get sacrificed, to his point, right? We're going to sacrifice either the experience the client's getting, because I'm answering their call and saying, hey, I only have 5 minutes, like what do you need? Or we're going to experience on the referral side, right? If we're getting a referral from a realtor or a financial planner, they're going to want to know exactly what's going on throughout that process. So there was a clear need for us to expand even further. One of our teammates, our production partner, Ariel, I liken her to a Swiss Army knife, because she's essentially whatever you need when you need it, right? I mean, she is the best at everything and mediocre at nothing. And if I need a knife in my toolbox, I pull her out and we're not stabbing anybody. We're cutting things up with it. Or if I need a wine opener and we're cracking champagne, I'll bring her into that. But what that means is that if I need to meet with a client and I need to have an extensive experience with them and really go in detail, I can't be inundated with my emails. I can't be inundated with the documents I need to collect. So she goes in there and she fills any void and makes sure that there's nothing that slips between the cracks. And Barry used the metaphor quarterback. If I'm the quarterback and Barry's the coach, Ariel is our offensive line in a football team, right? She is blocking any defender, any imposing person or issue from coming into our sphere and allowing us to actually still execute the game. So, as a whole, we work together with Hannah. Hannah's our loan coordinator as well, and we're going to introduce her in a bit. But I want to introduce Ariel and have her just come in and tell a little bit about how she sees herself in this role, and have her take over right now.
Shane, before we introduce Ariel, why don't you explain exactly what it is you do? I understand that you are the conductor, but as a senior mortgage advisor, I know you're meeting with a lot of clients. You also talk to realtors. Why don't you explain to everybody what you do before we bring Ariel on?
Yeah, love to. So, really the structure of the team, in order for it to work seamlessly and for everyone to accomplish what they need to, everyone kind of has to have their own lane, right? So, to Barry's point, he's doing the belly to bellies. He's talking with our referral partners. He's connecting with people that entrust us and giving them their friends, their family, their coworkers. But the side of the business side on my end is basically connecting with those clients, with those referrals, and doing an in-depth analysis, right? Having an initial call to figure out what their dreams, their goals are, what they're trying to accomplish, why they wanted to even start this process in the first place. And from there, walking them through what solution is best for them, right? Not everybody's situation is different and unique. We liken it to a fingerprint. It's basically, the advice and the mortgage advice that I'm going to be giving someone who's 65 and retiring, and the kids just moved out and they're downsizing, is going to be very different from, the mortgage advice and in the loan program I prescribe to a 30-year-old who is about to get married, right? And they need to think about long-term retirement. So my job is to identify what each specific client's needs are and what they're trying to accomplish, and then taking them through and demystifying the mortgage process. The World Wide Web is very wide. There's a lot of information out there, and a lot of it's kind of confusing and conflicting. So as the mortgage advisor, my job is to make sure that we've really left no stone unturned, and we answer any questions and make sure that they're in a good position so they feel confident in this huge decision they're making. So while I'm doing that, as I mentioned, I don't have the ability to wear multiple hats. These girls can, frankly. Hannah, but our loan coordinator will go into what she does in a bit. But Ariel, she probably has 7 hats on at any given time. That's why I call it a Swiss Army knife. So we would be lost without them, and we couldn't deliver the same experience without them on our side. So back to your point, Barry, I can hand the baton back to you, but we'll give just Ariel a chance to tell a little bit about her side of things and the day in the life.
Hello, I'm Ariel. I'm the Swiss Army knife of the team. No, my name is Ariel. I am the production partner for the Cravoy team. Pretty much what I help out with the team and what I do is in the initial stages, I help with the realtor sending the referral or borrowers to us, or if we have a borrower that's already close family and part of our Cravoy team family that would like to purchase or refi, I make sure that they are set up for success. So my job is to help Shane prepare the file so he knows how to provide them with a solution and how to guide them in the right direction that works best for them and their needs. So with that, I would be collecting all the documentation. I'll be making sure that all the information that I'm collecting is appropriate for what they're looking to do. And with that, that's when I pass it on to the next stage. So I'm kind of that middleman between the sales side and the operations side to make sure that all the information is correct, all the documentation is correct, nothing slips through the cracks, and also that everyone is aware of what's going on. So when a referral partner sends us over a client, they entrust us that we have all the information and we have everything that we need to make sure that this loan is going to be flawless and that the process is going to be flawless. So I also let the realtor know what's going on. I let them know where the borrower is at. I let them know what the realtor can do to help assist the borrower that maybe they haven't communicated yet with each other. So with that, I handle making sure all parties know what's going on. The borrower feels comfortable with submitting all their paperwork and documentation to myself so I can give it to Shane to find the best solution for them. And I can also give it to Hannah, which she'll explain further what she'll do, and make sure that she's set up to make sure that when they are moving forward with buying a home or refinancing, that we have all the information needed. So all the departments are going to be set up for success and making sure that it flows seamlessly. So that is in a gist of what I do, making sure, like I said, nothing falls through the cracks. Everyone is aware of what's going on. My goal is at the end of this transaction that no one has any questions, because we gave them all the information and they were aware the whole time of what was going on, making sure they're comfortable, making sure all parties are up to speed, up to date, and it's just a seamless transaction. So with that, I start with Shane, and then it goes to myself. I communicate with Shane, but then I'll communicate with Hannah and pass it on forward. And then it goes to Hannah, our loan coordinator. Hope that helps.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hannah. Nice to meet you. So I'm the loan coordinator for the Cravoy team. It's my job to do the operational end of getting you a loan. So I communicate with all of the operational parties as well as the borrower themselves. And it's my job to communicate to the borrower and make sure they know what they're doing in every step of the game, but also to think like an underwriter. So when Ariel passes me all of the documentation, because getting a loan is a documentation game, I scrutinize all of that documentation and I think like an underwriter. So I know what types of things will be red flags to them, and I know what types of things that we will need to add in order to complete a full story on paper. So once I do that, I reach out to the client and I say, hey, Ariel is amazing. She did it perfectly. Or I say, Ariel's amazing, but I need like 1 or 2 more things from you. So once I have a complete file, I will pass it on to the processing department. They are like a second set of eyes, a double check on that story. And then once we work together and have decided that we are ready for the underwriter, we will submit the file to the underwriting department. The underwriter will then review the file with their underwriting eyes and will tell us what they feel that we have missed. And they will give us conditional loan approval. Conditions are documents. So they'll give me a list of the documents that I need to collect from the client in order to complete the story and draw up the final loan docs. Once we have that complete story, well, hold on. Then I'll go to the client and I'll say, this is what the underwriter is asking of you. This is the next round of documentation. I'm going to need X, Y, and Z before we can submit the file back for final approval. So once I have collected what I deem good documentation for them, I will then submit it back to the underwriter a second time. They'll look it over. As long as they agree with what I've provided to them, they'll grant us final approval. We'll clear to close the file. Then I'm communicating with the closing department in order to get docs out. We'll balance with escrow. We'll send the docs over to escrow. At that point, I will call the client and tell them, hey, keep an ear out for a phone call from a number that you probably don't have. That will be escrow trying to coordinate a signing appointment with a notary. I'll give them their final cash to close number, which I am communicating with them the whole way along. I'm the one sending them the disclosures, so I'm communicating the cash to close as well as the monthly payment amount. We'll go over that one last time, make sure they don't have any questions before they go in to sign the docs with a notary. And I encourage them, even if they're at that signing table, if they have questions, to call me. They're welcome to call me the entire time. I take over borrower communication, and I just want them to feel empowered with information so that they know exactly what they're doing. Because even if somebody owns 5, 10 properties, what are the chances they remember what this process is like? Probably pretty slim. It's very nitty gritty, and I just want to make sure that people know what they're doing the entire time and they're not just going into something blind. So I'm holding everybody's hand the whole time, sometimes even my own. And I'm just, making sure we're all on the same page and helping you to complete a properly documented file that will get us to the end goal where we're trying to go. So that's the footnotes of what I do here.
Oh,
Oh,
very
you
good. I can mime for him. So what he's saying is that.
Well, sorry about that. I had myself unmute for a second, but I can tell you that thank you guys for doing that. But a couple of things I wanted to point out is that, first of all, everything that they just said, they do and more. I cannot stress enough how complex it is when you go into doing a refinance. You can do a refinance in 30 or 60 days. There's no real clock, so it's not like this controlled chaos. But when you're doing a purchase, it is controlled chaos. In addition to everything you just heard, Ariel is ordering appraisals. She's, Ariel and Hannah are communicating with title and escrow and gathering whatever documentation that they need for the underwriter with, the HOA of the property that they're buying. There's condo certs. There are so many nuances that one loan officer has to go through to get a loan done successfully and to have a really great reputation. At some point, if you do not bring on these incredible people like I have, what happens is that you start losing that edge. Before you know it, you're not communicating like you were before. I've heard realtors talk about this. My lender is getting too busy for me. Or my lender must be really busy because I haven't heard from him in the last 24 hours. I called them yesterday. We wanted to expand our team and to maintain a really, really great reputation because we are a referral-based lender. All of our new clients are coming from referral partners like realtors, financial planners, estate planners, clients. How could we expect a client or anybody to continue to send us their, family, friends, clients, if we weren't executing at a really high level and having this incredible communication? Because what that last part that I just told you, the communication end of this, is maddening. When you have these incredible timelines that are just zipping by. We're getting close to where, when you go into contract, you have to, you usually will have a contingency removal period, and you have to get the appraisal done, and you have to, the inspections getting done, and you have to have an underwriter sign off on it. And as we're getting closer to these dates where this has to be done via the contract, everyone starts getting a little nervous. If you don't have this high level of communication, before you know it, your phone starts ringing. And if you're too busy to be able to handle those calls, you guys can probably relate to this before. How many of you have ever had, a dinner date or something with somebody and they were supposed to be there at 10 o'clock and 10 o'clock rolled around and they weren't there? And you're looking at your watch, you're looking out the window, and all of a sudden 10:15 happens, 10:30 happens. It's really frustrating and it angers you. And there is such a high level of emotion that is going through the process when you're buying a house. We want to reduce that stress as much as we possibly can. And the way to do that was by creating this super team that we have. For my role in the team is that I'm out there. I am also, I meet with some clients, but when Shane is too busy, I should be able to jump in there and help him, because we don't want that part of our business to slow down. We want to keep that pipeline filled, right? So I also have to be out there meeting with new referral partners, with realtors, with financial planners, with estate planners. I'm making introductions to corporations to see if we can become their preferred lender. There are lots of things that I'm doing to try and make sure that this team stays busy. And we have an incredible bandwidth right now. I can honestly tell you, in the 20 years that I've been doing this, I say this all the time. These guys know that I feel like this about them. I have never been so privileged to work with this incredible group of people, these three incredible human beings. I've never had this in my life. I've worked with some great people. I won't name any names, but if you're watching this, you know how I felt about you. I've had some great bosses. I've had a great assistant before. And it was an incredible feeling. but there was always this limitation where we felt like we couldn't take it any further. And, you know, being able to rely on Shane, to know that he is delivering the same message that we want to deliver to our clients, the same quality of advice, the same education as I would deliver, is super important to me. To know that Ariel is also has that same level of compassion and care and wants us to succeed and wants our clients and our referral partners to be happy, to be informed. That's super important to me. And then to have Hannah, I mean, in a lifetime, you usually don't find this many people that have the same amount of care and compassion and drive. And just, we all strive for excellence on this team. So, you know, we've never really actually done this publicly. We talk to each other every morning and we go over the files. We want to know, you know, who needs to step in to help where. And we constantly tell each other how much we care about each other. And I got to tell you, I consider all of these people, my son is my family, but I always refer to Hannah and Ariel as my unofficial daughters because they've just become like a part of the family, and they treat our clients like they are part of the family. So, you know, this is the operations end of our team. We also have, you know, another growth team that I'll be introducing you to at some point. But I want to thank you, Hannah, for doing this. I love you, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. And I know if you're watching this, if you're a referral partner or a client, that you love Hannah too, because I get told all the time. Thanks so much, Hannah.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Okay, and then I also want to thank you, Ariel. You know, Ariel, I don't even know the words for it. You very rarely meet somebody in your lifetime that has, I mean, I always tell people, be careful about what you say to Ariel, because she may just wind up going and figuring out how to do it after you've mentioned it to her. And Ariel and I have been spearheading a reverse mortgage division that, I mean, the majority of it is her. I mean, I will tell you that without Ariel, we would not be able to execute on reverse mortgages or do them at the level that we do. She's just so incredible. Thank you so much, Ariel, for joining us today and sharing a little bit about what you do.
Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
No problem. And then Shane, son, man, I'm not going to get teared up here. You know how, if anybody who knows Shane and I knows that we are as tight as a father and son could be. We're best friends. You know, we share the same values. And I am just so impressed with you, son. I'm so impressed with Shane. And I know that the rest of you are as well, because I hear it all the time. Thank you so much for doing this with me, son.
Appreciate it, Pops. Appreciate the opportunity.
All right. So now you've met my operations team. Love them to death. I'm sure that if you watch this video all the way through, you get a really good idea of what we can accomplish as a team, getting our clients taken care of and making sure that we do a great job. But if you are a potential referral partner watching this, if you're a real estate agent, financial planner, estate planner, heck, if you're a client, I just want you to also know that we have a business development team here at the Cravoy team that I wanted to introduce you to. These two are just incredibly talented people. I kind of met them on a fluke. A good friend of mine owns a company that's based out of El Salvador called BBL Outsourcing. And, you know, I needed some help. I needed some help with business development. I needed some help with, you know, all the things that normally distract me from doing what I should be doing, which is, you know, talking to more people. If I'm on Facebook or if I'm on LinkedIn or YouTube, if I'm out there trying to post and I'm editing videos and doing all this stuff, I am not doing what I should be doing as a leader. So I needed somebody to help me fill that gap. And I found it because of my friend Dominique at BBL Outsourcing. She introduced me to the incredible Jackie Alfaro, who I'm going to ask to jump on now. Jackie is my business development manager. And to say that I'm impressed with her would be one of the biggest understatements in the world. Jackie?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, Jackie. Jackie, thank you so much for doing this with me. I know that by nature you're a little bit shy, but I also know that how brilliant you are. I just want to kind of set the stage here for you and let everybody know like some of the things that you do for me. In addition to taking care of my social media, managing Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. You're also out there and you're researching markets for me. I always say this about Ariel, be careful what you say about Ariel because she'll go figure out a way to do it. Well, the same can be said about Jackie. Like if I bring up an idea like, hey, I want to try and break into the Memphis, Tennessee market, and I want to meet some financial planners and realtors, before I know it, Jackie's in Memphis, Tennessee and researching financial planners and realtors and sending out connection requests. But in addition to that, she's also, helping me kind of organize the look and feel of all of our social media. She's also the person who has been directing or producing this video that you're watching. So, she's kind of like Shane calls Ariel a Swiss Army knife. I feel the same way about Jackie. She is my Swiss Army knife. Like we meet every morning, we kind of laser out what we're trying to accomplish for that day. If she's got videos she needs to edit, she'll do that. She'll post something on Facebook for us, or if she sees a graphic that she likes, she'll make that our own and she'll post it. And she's trying to constantly stay in communication with our realtor partners on social media and hopefully new potential realtor partners. So Jackie, with that said, I just want to kind of throw it over to you. Why don't you tell everybody, like, I know business development management is kind of new to you. Like, tell us a little bit about your background and what you may or may not like about our business.
Okay, sure. So I actually like your business. I like everything about your business. I won't say there is something that I don't like about it. Just to give you a bit of background about me, I am an attorney actually in my country. I'm in El Salvador and I work remotely with Barry. And then I moved to the insurance industry and I worked for property and casualty insurance for 5 years. So I got familiar with everything about mortgages and payments and banks and everything. And then I had the opportunity to meet Barry, and it seems at the moment that it was like a really good moment to change a path, now to move to the loans industry. What we didn't know at that moment is that end of the day I was going to be working on marketing and business development. Um, it's been a challenge, but it's a really good challenge. I'm actually the kind of person that like to be challenged with things. As I was saying Barry before, I'm not the kind of person that would say, I don't know how to do that. I'm the kind of person that would say, let me do some research and let me put something together so we can work on that. And that's how I do everything. So nowadays, I'm working with marketing, I'm working with social media, making sure you have a good content posted, making sure our followers are enjoying that content. Also, contacting our partners, having that connection with them, checking if they have any need, if they need something from the team or from Barry or from me. We are always available to help, and it's been really fun. And the other thing that is my responsibility, or at least I feel that as my responsibility, is to make things happen. Whatever or any crazy idea the team may get about marketing or social media or video making, I'm doing all the research we need to do so we can make that happen and we can have a good result. As Barry mentioned, I'm the one who is directing right now the live stream. So if you see that I'm a bit distracted is because of that. So that's everything I do here. And I work also with Valmore, that is the one that is helping us also with marketing and with graphic designing, that is really good at what he does. And he has gave us really good ideas, and he does a great job.
So with that said, I want to jump in and just say that, Jackie's impressed me so much that, we have some great talented people at Neo. We have a marketing department at Neo, but our marketing department, they'll tell you, look, we can do flyers and stuff like that, but we're not necessarily graphic artists. And I really wanted some custom stuff. I wanted to have a really good brand. So I reached out to Jackie and I said, Jackie, because she had already impressed me. I'm like, you think you can find me a really good graphic artist in El Salvador? And she goes, sure, let me look into it. And like within a day, the first person she introduced me to is Valmore. And not only is Valmore brilliant, and I'm saying this because I know I've interacted with him. He's worked on stuff. In fact, he told me, he goes, let me just kind of show you what I can do first. Before we even start talking about doing business, I want to just show you some stuff that I could do for you. And so she introduced me to Valmore. I just really appreciated the work that he did and his attitude. And before you knew it, I told him, look, I really want you to be part of our team. So with that said, and I have Jackie to thank for that, let's bring on Valmore and introduce Valmore.
Hi.
Hey, Valmore.
How are you doing all?
Good, buddy. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a graphic designer, but I'm also a marketing person. I hold both specialties. And that's very important for me because they do go hand in hand. You cannot have good marketing without having good visuals or having good audio or having good communication. I'm located in El Salvador, but I've been working all around the world. I have been distributed in at least Asia, Europe, and the US, and most of Latin America. So when Jackie called me, and we know somebody in common, and she said that she had somebody that was interested in solving certain marketing problems. I was so excited because American people are very friendly with El Salvador, and they have a very good attitude, and they're very business oriented. And I do love all the philosophy. So I was very, very, very interested. And then, yes, as Barry said, the first thing I said, look, let me have a 5 days or 6 days, and let's meet on Saturday, I believe. And I did this whole presentation and laid out how the brand could look like. And what you see mostly in social media at this point, or if you'd been at the events or have some printed materials delivered, you can see how it's all coming into place. And that has been my biggest support to the team. And I do love this team. Barry has a very good father-like leadership attitude, which I do appreciate because we build together. There's we discuss things and we have opinions, and then we take all that feedback and build upon it. And that going forward, I think it's important to you guys as clients, customers, and contacts because we have all this back end that's basically your offense. We can go ahead and assist you with or all our know-how and get you the materials or the communication or the support needed for what you need to do to get in more clients, because when you do well, we do well. So that's the whole idea. We are a family, we're a team, we're partners, and we have to work together to have good communication, good operations, good marketing, good sales, and all around a good income, right?
That's right. And, Valmore said something that I think was really crucial that I'd kind of just like to touch on is the collaboration part that I have with him and Jackie. Like we talk about things and, I have ideas, but I don't know everything. I'm looking to collaborate. I want ideas from Valmore, from Jackie. Heck, I want ideas from my realtor partners and my financial planner partners. And, we take all of these ideas. Now we've got these great ideas. What do we do with them? Well, these guys right here, when it comes to marketing and when it comes to business development, these are the two people that I lean on. And I don't even know how to explain it to you, because you have to actually do business with us for a certain amount of time before you see it. But one of my best realtors told me that the one thing that she really loves about us is how much we care. Because we care so much, we refuse to fail. We will do everything that we can to make our clients happy, to make them successful, and to make our partners happy and successful. And when you do business with the Cravoy team at Neo Home Loans, you get the whole package. You're going to get our operations department. You're going to get myself and Shane and Ariel and Hannah. You're also, if you're one of our partners, you're going to have access to Jackie and to Valmore. I just got off right before this video was being taped. I just got off with a new realtor partner who's trying to build a YouTube channel. And, he only put like 3 videos on YouTube, and he wound up getting somebody to call him up that wanted to have him represent them on a purchase of a new home from one video. But he really doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to, his YouTube video channel, or, creating video content or editing. And, I told him, I said, look, mi casa, su casa, like my team, my home is your home. Like if you choose to use us as your realtor partner, as your lender partner, then you can expect that you're going to get everything that we have to offer. You're going to get great service. You're going to get an incredible response from our team. We're going to be able to meet, hopefully, all of your expectations. But in addition to that, our value proposition is that we also will try and help you to be more successful with your marketing efforts. So Valmore and Jackie, I can't tell you how much I appreciate and love you guys. And Valmore said it on the head. These guys are part of my family. I mean, I would let them, anytime. I've told them, anytime you guys come to the States, you've got a place to stay. You guys are family. So I trust them implicitly, and I hope that you guys get an opportunity to meet them and to interact with them. And Jackie and Valmore, Jackie, first of all, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. And then Valmore also, go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Appreciate you too, brother.
Thank you. Have a great day.
No problem. So, guys, I just want to end this with saying that, we're not going to become best friends overnight. You're not going to completely trust us overnight. It all starts with just spending some time with each other. Like I used to send out a thank you card to people that basically said just that, is that time is valuable. And I appreciate it when you spend your time with me, but that time can be very well spent if we can create, a friendship, and we can somehow or another help each other. Even if it means you're not going to use us as your lender. If you just want to have a conversation, you want to get educated, you want to send a client over to us because you'd like us to educate them, even if they're using another lender, we're always happy to do that. My information to contact us is down below. When you email team@cravoyteam.com, it goes to myself, to Shane, and to Ariel. So we should be able to get back to you as soon as possible. I know this has probably been a little long-winded, but thank you so much. If you are a referral partner, the next step would just be getting together either in person or via Zoom, getting to know each other a little bit. If you're a loan officer and you're unhappy with where you're at because you don't have the kind of support that we have here, and you feel like you could grow if you just had some of these, all of these things that you're responsible for, a shared responsibility for all of those things, then you definitely want to reach out to us and let's talk and see maybe if there might be a fit here. But thank you so much. I hope you guys all have an incredible year, and hopefully we'll talk soon. Take care.